Welcome to the Real and Real Estate Podcast, your go-to show for real estate success. Whether you're an agent aiming to crush it or a buyer or seller wanting the inside scoop, we're here to deliver expert advice, insider tips, and the real talk you need. Each episode, we chat with top industry pros to give you the facts, strategies, and inspiration you need to thrive in this business. Let's dive in and make big moves together. Hi, welcome back to The Real in Real Estate, where we talk to experts in the field, get the facts, dispel the myths, and today I'm here with the wonderful Jennifer Williams of St. Louis Closet Company. Welcome, Jennifer.
Good morning, Jean, and good morning to all your listeners. I'm so excited to be with you guys today.
Well, I'm so excited to have you here. Organization is something that's very important to me, and I know a lot of people love it but have trouble with it. And you're going to give us lots of ideas and thoughts and options on how to get organized, stay organized, add value to your life and your home as well. So thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you for having me on. St. Louis Closet Company, just a little background. We've been in
Yes.
business 34 years. And
Wow.
what we do is we design, manufacture, and install custom closets and organizational systems for the entire home. And we also have some commercial clients. So we do everything from obviously closets to
Yes.
pantries, laundry rooms, home offices, entertainment centers, garages, basements, wine storage, really any place in your home that you can think of that needs organization. Butler's pantries, mudrooms, lockers, attic spaces. We can really organize any of those spaces. Now, we only service the St. Louis metropolitan area.
Right.
However, there are companies like mine all over the United States, because I know your listeners are from all over.
Right.
Um, how custom closet companies normally work is all the estimates are free. We send a designer to the home. They'll measure the space that you want to organize. They'll inventory the items that you want to store, and then they will design usually like a 3D rendering of what that space will look like.
Fantastic.
Once you're ready to move forward with the project, we manufacture everything because it is 100% totally custom. And then we come out usually about 4 weeks later and we install the system for you in one day and get it all taken care of. So it's a really easy, simple process. And like I said, many companies all around the country operate the same way. I think that organization is really the heart of every home. We live in a world right now where I think we all have too much stuff.
I
Um,
agree.
we shop online, we shop at big box stores, we buy stuff now that we never bought in the past. When I was little, the only holiday we would ever decorate for was Christmas. And now the holiday decor available for every single holiday is crazy. And I always think to myself,
Yeah.
especially on Halloween, when I walk around my neighborhood with the elaborate Halloween directions, like, where does everyone store this?
I wonder the same thing. I'm assuming they have to rent a place, but maybe you can solve that problem in the house.
Well, in the house, in your basement or your garage is a good place to store your seasonal decorations. But we just have too much stuff. So what happens is our homes, our living spaces, our condos, our cars, and even our workspaces have become more and more cluttered.
Yes.
Having all of this visual clutter because we have too much stuff, I think has really caused a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress. It's hard to wake up in the morning if you can't find your clothes or you can't find your keys or your kids
Right.
can't find their homework. And so getting your home organized, not only it looks better, it feels better, it causes less stress. I think it allows me to think better, sleep better. But when you wake up in the morning and your home is organized, I think it sets you off on the right foot each day to have a more successful day.
More positive day for sure. I'm one of those people that cannot stand clutter, probably because my mother was a bit of a pack rat, but that's another story. But my eye can't seem to settle on anything. And for me, that's very confusing and frustrating. It's like there's things blocking where I want to go almost.
Absolutely. I love clean countertops.
Yes.
Countertops, there's a decorating trend where decorators will come in and they'll make tablescapes, I think is what they're
Oh,
called, where
yeah.
they put books and bowls and lamps and it's beautiful. But to me, I like clean counters. That has always just been in my mind a way I want to see clean surfaces.
Mhm.
It's also easier to clean and dust if you
True.
don't have clutter everywhere. But, going to what you do, real estate, the number one thing that causes homes to not sell is when potential buyers walk in to a space and it's so cluttered. The closets are jam packed, the basements are overflowing. The potential buyers walk through those homes and think, well, this house is too small. This house isn't going to hold any of my stuff. Look, it doesn't even hold their clothes. How are
Their
my
stuff.
clothes going to fit?
Right.
So
And they don't see the house, they just see your stuff.
they just see your stuff. And so, when you're getting a house ready to go on the market, I think it's sort of one of the best times to declutter.
Mhm.
Your house is going to look cleaner, it's going to look more organized, and it's going to look bigger. Um,
Yes.
and I mean, knowing as a real estate agent, my husband's a real estate agent, and
Ah,
um,
you have firsthand experience then.
firsthand experience. And it's not just me saying this. The National Home Builders Association has said that having custom organized closets is among the top 10 things that will help sell a home. And
Absolutely.
one of the top 10 things that you will get your money back out of when you do sell your home. So that's very important.
I agree completely. It is a big selling feature. And it's just, well, the fact that it can be custom too, which I think is just amazing because quite frankly, some closet companies just have boxes and you got to fit their boxes to your space. But what you do is come in, and I think this is what everyone should do, and make it fit the space. Your product, I'm not saying this right. Your product fits the closet, not the closet has to fit the product. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Well, and every home is different.
Right.
And even if it's a subdivision of all brand new homes, every closet is different. I'm from St. Louis and we have a lot of really, really old homes. There's
Yes.
some houses that don't even have closets. And so we can design and build wardrobe units. But every space in your home can be utilized better. So think of those weird little cubbies underneath a stairwell. Or sometimes you
Mhm.
have a pantry and you open the pantry and it's real deep over the basement steps. Or maybe it's just a little space in your back hallway coming in off of the garage. So there's no two spaces the same. So having it customized not only uses all the space you have, but it allows us to create a system that works for your stuff,
You.
your
Yeah.
home, your space.
And pantries are a big deal, especially if you like to cook. Now, if you don't cook, you don't really care, but being able to go in there and find what you have so that you don't buy the third bottle of Italian seasoning because you couldn't find the first two that you bought, as an example, I think is wonderful. And I mean, the fact that you do, I'm looking at your website, laundry rooms and pantries, closets, children's play spaces. I think that's important because it helps the child learn to be organized if they have a place to put their products or their toys, sorry, not their products.
Well, I mean, I always say starting from pre kindergarten all the way through high school, when kids walk into school, they have a locker, right? They don't
Yes,
just walk
yes,
in and throw their stuff all over the floor. They go and they put their lunchbox and their book bag and their coat in their locker. They understand that there's a place for their stuff when they're in school. All the way through high school, you have a locker. So why not install custom lockers for your home for each member of your family? And if you teach kids young how to stay organized and you give them a place to put stuff, right? It's hard to tell a kid to go clean up their room if there's no place to put their stuff away. They,
right.
they just open a door and shove it in and close the door. But if you give them adjustable shelving, pull out baskets, bins, drawers, label them for them, it makes it a lot easier to clean up. But it also makes them understand that if you take something out, it goes back to the place where it came from.
Exactly. And I think it helps them respect what they have a little more. as well, because you're right. We have so many things. Kids have so many toys. As adults, we have a lot of toys and things, but I think it shows a level of respect that you want the children to think about the things that you just bought them and to appreciate those things.
Well, and it also allows everyone in the family to participate in the cleaning up of the
Mm,
house, right?
right.
And I always recommend my kids are both out of college and living on their own now, but when they were little, obviously, we had all the closets organized, and once a week I would be like, okay, we're gonna set a timer and we're gonna all spend 20 minutes, you know, cleaning up our spaces, whether it's the
Oh, I love
playroom,
it.
their bedroom, and made it sort of a fun little game. But everybody had a place to put their stuff and they knew where
Right.
everything went. So that was important. And so if you teach the kids when they're young, I think they grow up and they appreciate organization. And
Yeah.
they say once you've lived with a custom closet, you can't ever live without one.
Yeah, exactly. And you're teaching your children also lifelong habits or lifelong skills, which I think is really important. And yes, I just moved. I don't have a custom closet yet, but perhaps I will. And it was wonderful. I mean, I had drawers, I had hanging space, I even had a makeup area in my closet. It was big enough, fortunately, that I could do that. But I absolutely loved all of it, and I knew where everything was.
Well, and I'm sure it allowed you to, you know, um, pick out your outfit for the next day quicker.
Yeah.
And it
Yes.
allows the other thing is that we spend so much money on our possessions. I mean, just take women, for example, the amount of money we spend on clothes, shoes, handbags, belts, scarves. If you want to take care of those things, those are investments. Your wardrobe is an investment.
Absolutely.
Having a place for everything. If you have a nice velvet lined drawer for your jewelry, and you have a pull out rack that you can hang your belts so they don't get all bundled up or cracked.
Right.
If you have shelves for each pair of your shoes, they're not going to get all scuffed up in the bottom of a closet. So it not only organizes you, looks really nice, saves time, it also protects the investment you have in your wardrobe.
Absolutely. And that's important, very important, I think. And now, time for a short break.
Dreaming of transforming your space? At Broderick Dean Construction, we bring your vision to life with our seamless design build approach. Locally owned and operated in Tomball and surrounding areas, Broderick Dean Construction is a family business built on craftsmanship and care. Specializing in aging in place design and multi generational living, we create spaces that grow with you, timeless, functional, and beautiful. From remodels to custom home builds to commercial construction projects, our design build approach brings your vision to life with expert guidance every step of the way. Schedule your design build consultation today at broderickdean.com to get started.
Well, I know you have some other things too. I see Murphy beds. I don't know why. Those have always intrigued me. And I think it's a wonderful solution for a small space. It could be an office, it could be a guest room, but when you don't have guests, you put it up and out of the way. And I think those are wonderful
Yeah, Murphy beds. Well, Murphy beds have been around for
forever.
probably 100 years. There's
Yeah.
an I Love Lucy episode with a Murphy bed that's real funny.
Yes.
The new Murphy beds are a little bit, they function a little bit better. But the great thing is, like you said, when you're not using it as a bed, they fold up into the cabinet and they only take up 16 inches of floor space. So you can now use that room for a home office, an exercise room, a family room. And what we're seeing at St. Louis Closet Company is baby boomers are downsizing. They're moving
Yes.
into retirement communities, they're moving into smaller villas, and they're maybe going from a 4 or 5 bedroom house that has a basement and a garage and, into a 2 bedroom villa. Well, they still want to have a guest room for when the grandkids come over,
Absolutely.
but that may only be a couple times a year. So they don't want to give up that extra space full time for a bed. So the
Right.
Murphy beds are great there. Also, we do a lot of the lofts. We have a loft area in downtown St. Louis,
Okay.
um, where, it's a big open space, right? So your living space is sort of part of your bedroom. It's just, there's really no walls. And having a Murphy bed is really nice. So when you have your friends over and you're entertaining, it's the living room and the dining room and the kitchen
Right.
area. And when they all go home, you pull your bed down. We have also sold, you're going to love this, a lot of Murphy beds to firehouses for the firemen
Oh,
because they work on 24-hour shifts. So
yeah.
when they're there, they need a bed, but when they're not there, they're off and then the next person comes in. So we build a Murphy bed and a wardrobe unit for each fireman.
I love that. I had never even thought about that. So there's a whole commercial aspect to, or what I would call commercial versus a residential. That's
Right.
fabulous. So anybody
Exactly.
out there starting a business or getting a brick and mortar, you can help them organize this.
We do a lot of small
Fantastic.
boutique stores where they just need extra shelving for their displays. So there's a lot of opportunities out there to get organized, whether it's your home or your office.
That is wonderful. I had not even thought about that. Okay, everyone out there, listen, even if you're not wanting to do your closet at home or your pantry or whatever, she can help you with your business. Fantastic. Well, what else do we need to, what when you're working with a client, tell us some things that surprise some people, like they didn't know you could do this, like I didn't know you could do firehouses or any kind of commercial. I hadn't thought of that. What do people out there need to know that they may not automatically think of when they hear St. Louis Closet Company or any closet company?
Well, I think that the biggest misnomer is most closet companies across the United States have the word closet company in their name, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And we do so many things more, like we talked at the beginning of the show here, pantries, mudrooms, laundry rooms, lockers. So it's really all the different areas. But the other thing is that since I opened 34 years ago, the amount of material options and hardware selections have increased 100-fold. So
Oh, I
it's no
bet.
longer just white shelving, right? You can do wood grains and different colors and beautiful hardware and lighting and crown moldings.
Uh,
And you can really take the closets up to the next level. We're finding in a lot of larger new homes where the big primary walk-in closet is right off the bathroom. And the
mhm.
clients want to dress up the closet system so that it matches the bathroom a little bit more. And we can
Okay.
match the hardware, match the lighting, and really take the design process to a whole new level.
That makes perfect sense. Even a pantry doesn't have to be white shelves anymore or white boxes. You can make that look like just part of the kitchen, right?
Absolutely. And, a lot of people don't have a pantry. And so we're seeing a lot of people install, I call them butler's pantries, maybe in the hallway between the kitchen and the dining room, or a
Mhm.
little nook in the kitchen, or even a home office, right? A home office you're building a piece of furniture, you're building a desk and cabinets or an entertainment center. You want that to match the decor of your home. You don't necessarily
Absolutely.
want to make just plain white shelving on the wall. So we can do all of that and really match the decor of your home, but elevate the systems to a whole new level.
And this just adds value to your home. So
Right.
people, you're going to
Absolutely.
get your money's worth both from your enjoyment and if you ever sell, and people eventually usually sell. I have uh, friends of mine, their children travel a lot or transferred a lot. They're in the oil industry. And every time they get a new home, one of the first things they do is customize their closet.
Yeah. Remember earlier when I said once you have a custom closet, you can't live without one?
Yeah,
The
can't
first
go back.
It's usually the first thing our clients do when they do move. It's the first thing they're like, we had no idea how much the custom closets held, number one, but how
Yeah.
organized we were. And sometimes they have us come the day they close to get in there and put the new closet systems in.
Wow. Fantastic. Fantastic. Well, let's see. What else? What is the strangest thing you've ever had to have someone ask you to organize? I mean, do you do garages? What do you do?
We
What
do
would be an
garages, we do
unusual
basements.
request?
Well, I don't know if it's a strange request, but we've only had it one time in 34 years where we had a client who had this adorable little puppy, but it was one of those puppies that had a different outfit for every day.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
for a pup for the puppy parades and the different holidays. And there was an entire wardrobe for the puppy. So we did a specific customized closet just for the dog clothes.
I love that.
It
I
was
love that.
adorable, absolutely adorable.
What a pampered pup, right?
Yes. Yes, it was
I've
so
seen
cute.
uh, I've seen pictures of people under the stairwell. Sometimes it's wasted space, sometimes there's a powder room, sometimes it's just a very large closet. But I've seen people actually do shelving or little desk areas in below the stairs. Have you
Mhm.
done anything like that?
Yes, absolutely. Well, and it's usually an odd shaped space. It's usually kind of the triangle because it's under the
Right.
stairwell. And what we can do is since it's so custom, we can stair step our units down and turn it into, we do a lot of bench seats in those little
Okay.
areas. A lot of sort of open shelving, maybe for, family photographs and artwork.
Mhm.
And we've done some wine storage in those places also.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Mhm.
That's a great idea. Well, again, I know you're in St. Louis, but people in St. Louis can enjoy your um, products, your expertise, and I appreciate you coming on here talking to us in general about organization and the value it brings to a home. So, what else do you want to share with us that we may not have covered yet that you feel would be important to share?
Well, I think it's important if people are thinking about getting custom closets or organizational systems. Um, we live in a world with, Google. Google,
Yes,
photos. Go online. You can come to our website or our social media pages and start getting some inspiration photos, right? You said
I
you're on
love
our
that.
website. We probably have 10,000 photos on our
You
website.
have a lot.
And sometimes, you don't even think about something. So have some ideas ahead of time before you decide to call a custom closet company. So when they come out, you can really think through the spaces. I also recommend, unless you're building a new home and you want to move in with every closet done, I
Mhm.
recommend starting small. You know, don't get yourself overwhelmed. Don't feel like you have to organize your whole house in one day. You're
Right.
gonna get discouraged. It's not going to work. Pick a small space. Maybe pick a space where everybody in the family uses. Maybe that's the hall coat closet, or maybe it's the pantry, or maybe the laundry room, a space that everybody uses every day. So you're
Mhm.
going to get maximum benefit from that organization.
Right.
And start small. Take everything out of that closet. Make everybody try on those coats. I bet every single person listening today has multiple coats, hats, or gloves in their coat closet that they don't ever wear.
Right.
Um, donate those.
Donate. Donate.
Donate.
Let
There's
somebody else use them.
absolutely. Get everything cleaned out. And even if you don't want to go the route of a custom closet company, invest in matching hangers, right? If you
Yeah,
get
that is important, I think. I do that. Yes.
right, really nice, especially a coat closet, really nice, sturdy hangers. Hang all the coats on the same hanger. They're going to all hang the same height. You're just going to feel so much better from that
Yes.
one small project. Then you're going to like catch the bug, right? And then you're going to be like, oh,
Right.
wow, now let's do, this room. And now let's do our closets. So don't feel like you have to tackle the whole house at once.
I
Start.
also think, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, start small and then work your way up.
Also, I think if you have an area and no matter what the area is or how small it is, if it just isn't working for you, you might be able to come in there and see it with a whole new set of eyes and know exactly what needs to be done and make their lives easier and better. So don't be afraid to ask.
Right. And don't be, we have a lot of clients, they're like, oh, I'm too embarrassed to let you come to my home.
Oh, I'm sure you've seen everything.
Don't be embarrassed. I mean, that's our job, right? Our job is to come
Right.
and sort of see where the other professional service that I like to recommend to our clients, we don't offer this, but we work with some partners here in St. Louis, are the professional organizers.
Yes,
And
those are important.
they're very important. First of all, they're wonderful if you are moving to a new home. They'll come in and they'll help you pack your house and unpack your house.
Yes. Yes.
But they will also come in and create systems for you and your family. Um, they'll force you to go through your wardrobe and see if you really need to keep everything. They'll help you select the right hangers. They'll help you select different bins and label things and really get yourself organized that way too.
Perfect. Great idea. Thank you. Well, tell us how, for people that would like to contact you or in your area, how can they contact you?
Well, our website is stlouisclosetco.com,
Okay.
and we're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Pinterest and YouTube. So you can pretty much just Google St. Louis Closet Company. We're going to
And
come
they'll
up.
pop up.
Will pop up.
Fantastic.
We do offer free estimates. And then if any of your listeners have any questions or want any further information, they can email me directly at jennifer@stlouisclosetco.com.
Fantastic. Perfect. Well, this has been a lot of information, all wonderful information and thoughts and insights. And I really appreciate, Jennifer, you joining us today. I know you're busy and you've taken the time to talk to us. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you for having me. It's been lovely.
Okay, everybody follow them on social media and check out their website. Thank you for tuning in to the Real and Real Estate Podcast. I hope today's insights have inspired and empowered you. Don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, and share the podcast with anyone who might benefit. Have questions or a topic you'd like us to explore? We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, stay informed, stay inspired, and keep moving towards success.